maybe a delay. I'm just gonna refresh the YouTube live screen here and see if we're showing up. We're showing up in my screen here. Okay, so if anybody, and I know at least there are 4 concurrent viewers, if you're seeing us, can you just type in the chat that yes, we are live? Okay, I think we are live. Yes, thank you. All righty. So welcome to our, what do we call it? The launch? Should we
Yes.
call it the launch? Yeah.
We should say it's a launch party.
Exactly, the launch party that we can already start with the, I don't know, I was looking for a glass, but okay, this is
Yes.
fine.
Ooh, actually, we should have the rocket ship, shouldn't we, really?
Indeed, indeed. Okay. Yeah, that was so cool. Okay. So welcome everybody, whoever is joining us live. First of all, we thank you for joining us on our launch party. And obviously, during the course of this talk, we are going to literally press the go live button for our course. And but before we do that, we want to talk a little about what that course is. And it is really about facilitating change when you do not have all the answers. And of course, there's a story behind it. I'm just going to start the story, Ro, and you want to then just join in or jump into the story where we actually started this course, or just a talk, right? That we started end of last year or early this year, was it?
Actually, no, I can't remember. The time has gone so fast.
Yeah. But I remember when we agreed, it was by the first quarter of this year, we agreed, okay, we're going to do this totally from scratch. Let's create this, because we were both getting requests on those kind of questions. How do we navigate the uncertain space that we are in? How do we not have all the answers, because you've got to be the expert. And I think, Ro, you and I have seen so many of those instances already in most of our work contexts. And then we were like, let's just create something. And then we started delivering. I think the first one was 23rd July, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, yes. I remember that date. Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we delivered that, and then we were both like getting requests from all those who registered. Some of them who paid didn't show up. Some of them, some of them I remember who were like, yeah, this time zone doesn't work for us. Although we had scheduled it for a couple time zones, right? And the only way to break that time zone barrier was make it self-paced.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think so first of all, we had a massive, massive interest in the course. So I think we had about 50 people plus interested in the course. And as Sarika mentioned there, because it was over, so it's over in Indian time zone and a West Australian time zone, because Sarika's in Pune, India, and I'm in Perth, Western Australia. So we were trying to work out a time zone that fitted our awake times, and also trying to find a time zone that fitted other folks' awake times. And clearly we didn't quite get that right. So it kind of morphed into okay, well, how could we turn what we've created already, which we've run live, so we know it works, how can we turn that into a self-paced online micro course that will take around, depending on how quickly you work, it will take around 90 minutes to 2 hours of your time. And obviously you can space that out into 10, 15, 20-minute blocks, whatever you want to do. So that was kind of the genesis of how all of this began, wasn't it?
Indeed, indeed. And just diving a bit further into what that course together is all about, because we got so many requests and interest, like you rightly said, Ro. The interest for this course was very high, even from very experienced facilitators, right? And there was curiosity, literally. Oh, and I forgot to get my mug. Being curious and not furious. Damn. Okay. But I'll say that anyway. I wanted to get it and just show that. But the point being, I think what the course says, right? Facilitating change when you don't have all the answers. And a lot of people, leaders, managers, facilitators, we get stuck in that expert mode, and we think we're supposed to have all the answers when we actually don't need to have all the answers. So this was something so close to Ro and me that we just had to work on it and say, it's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to not fall into that trap of being the expert, but how do you get yourself out of it? How do you navigate that uncertainty? Because yes, we are expected to be the experts when you're not.
Yeah, yeah. And I think just hearing that word expert several times reminds me of an amazing video I saw of Daniel Kahneman, who's sadly no longer with us. And I remember just being stopped in my tracks because he was asked a question. I think it was a Q&A with an audience. And for those of you who don't know who Daniel Kahneman is, he wrote the groundbreaking book on Thinking Fast and Slow, which is really about behavioral economics, behavioral science, which he collaborated with his late partner, Amos Tversky. And it is an amazing book and has spawned lots of other different books from then on in. Anyway, to get back to the story, I remember watching this video of him talking to a group of leaders, I'm assuming it was, and somebody asked him a question. And by this stage, he was quite getting on in years, so he was quite senior and advanced. And he just stood there and he looked up and he just paused and he said, I don't know that yet. I don't know the answer to that yet. And I thought it was such an amazing thing to do. First of all, he paused. He didn't leap in with an answer. He paused. He took a moment, and then he was very humble in the way that he said, "Well, I don't know that yet." And that was a really great lesson in how to gracefully acknowledge that it's okay that even somebody as magnificent and learned as he, acknowledging that he didn't know that yet. It's something that he was yet to learn. So yeah, that sort of stepping back from being the expert is really crucial when we're facilitating. And also, I just want to say as well, Sarika, because I've come on my own learning journey here, that it's also okay if you're a facilitator and you do want to have more structure and scaffolding, and you've got models and things that you want, because sometimes that's what the group needs. So we're not discounting those skills either. We're saying that that's great. What happens if, though, you turn up for a session and everything that you've planned for suddenly gets thrown out of the window? What do you do then as a facilitator? So it's that flexibility, that adaptability in your own facilitation style, which is really what inspired us both to, because that's what we do, isn't it? That's what inspired us both. So I just wanted to be honest as well about my bias. I don't know if it's your bias, but my bias comes through that I'm totally okay with not knowing all of the answers, and also okay with those people who need that bit of structure. It's just, what do you do when that structure no longer serves you and the group?
Indeed. And it just reminded me, literally to today, I think an hour or two ago, I was actually sharing one of my experiences with a friend and colleague. And I think that person's also on watching us right now. So hello. I won't take the name because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to. So I haven't taken that permission. But I
Yeah.
was literally sharing that experience of mine where I had agreed on a complete deliverable of what is needed for a one-day leadership retrospective facilitation at a leadership summit of global leaders coming from, I don't know, 20, 30 countries globally, and went in with, a structure and how I'm going to deliver, what the intended outcomes, to move the direction of that group to. And after two activities, I was like, oh my God, this is going elsewhere. Let me check in with the CXO if it is okay to take this turn. And we checked in and she's like, oh, but you'll have to change everything. I was like, that's cool. At least you'll get what you want. I'm okay. I can change everything if you want, right from here to the end. And she was like, okay, but let's do it. And then imagine after another 2 hours, I think, and then there was some external inputs that were coming in from other vendors, etc., in the summit. And then they were like, okay, I think we'll have to kind of pivot a little more. And I was like, not a problem. As long as the overarching goal of what you want to get is being met, we'll do that. We'll do what it takes. At the end, everybody got what they wanted. They had actions they could, go away and act upon. We did like an open mic session at the end where people spoke about stuff, and nothing as per the plan. Literally the first two activities and the rest of the day was
Yeah.
Very different, but that's reality, right? But
Yeah.
had I panicked, had I not stayed calm myself, had I not taken some actions, wouldn't have gone the way it did, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what happens when, literally, as we say, when all eyes are on you, what's your response? Or what's your reaction right now,
Yeah.
really? People react and not respond. And we are
Yeah.
saying you need to respond.
Correct. Yeah. Because there's always that choice with response. There isn't when you react because you're coming from a very emotional place. So it's how you take stock yourself, breathe, and then think, okay, what are my options here? And then I always say when you're facilitating, it's always about judgment. You are in that room with those people, so it's always a judgment call. The intervention that you take might or might not work, but unless you take an intervention of some description, then you're going to not have a great outcome. So yeah, and I don't know, we probably haven't got time for this, but I'm just going to chip in anyway because it's not just facilitated sessions. It can also be where you've got a training session, so the objectives are very clear. It's the client is really upfront and clear with you what you're meant to be doing there, and then people show up at the room in a place in a not a great place. You know, I've run a session where people come into the room, I could feel the anger come into the room before they even emerged in the room. And I could hear their voices, I could hear the words they were using. They were really angry. They were not in a place yet to learn. So before we could even start the training session, I had to declare what I was noticing in the room. And then I had to work out, okay, how can I actually help them? What resources have I got that I can help them to actually get this out on the table before we get into the training? And I think we spent something like 40 minutes at the beginning, just me. It was essentially group coaching. So
Hmm.
it moved away from that facilitation mode, more into a coaching mode. And then we realigned what we were trying to achieve from the day, and then at the end of the day, I check back in to say, right, these are all the things that you had as concerns at the beginning of the day. Let's just go through them. Where are you now in relation to those? And I think, do I need to feed this back to someone somewhere, or do you need to feed it back? And I think all of them we ticked off saying, no, they're all resolved. And I
Hmm.
think if we hadn't done that bit up front, and of course you never know, do you? Because it's always a judgment. If we hadn't done that bit up front, then potentially it would have been a disastrous training day and it wouldn't have been great for them and it wouldn't have been great for me. So I think your facilitation skills can be used in lots of different scenarios, not just when you're purely facilitating.
Indeed, indeed, very well said. So
Mm,
I just wanna I just wanna call it out. So I am
yes.
not seeing any chat happen. For some reason, my own
No,
administrative chat is stuck. So
I
there's
can't see any
some
either.
yeah, so there's some glitch that has happened. So if anybody has been responding, I'm so sorry we're not able to see the chat because I don't see it on the common screen and you don't see it either,
No,
Rose.
I don't, I've got it on a different monitor here, which is what I was doing at the beginning, and I won't let me open the panel with the conversation, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So, but hopefully we're answering some of the queries that people might have anyway with the stories
In,
that we're telling. But anyway,
indeed.
carry on, Sarika, keep us on track because you know what I'm like. I go off at tangents.
Yes, so we've got another 5 to 7 minutes and we're going to wrap it up, but let's get to the main thing, right? We obviously want to launch this course, but we want to tell a little about the course before we click the button go live. Okay, so yes, we've not yet clicked it. So we do want to say we have not invested in a separate tool, a separate platform, because there's enough login passwords that you all create. And we got quite tired of it. And we're like, okay, it's the first in our series of hopefully many courses, micro courses, e-learning courses that will come your way. So this very first one, we are just going to keep it simple. Miro as or Miro, however you pronounce it, as your collaboration tool. And you've got YouTube, which obviously not everybody will have access to. The most critical piece here becomes your email ID. So if you entered the wrong email ID during registration, you will need to write to us because we won't be able to write back to you. We don't know your email until then. So make sure your email is right and you will get access to a very simple leaderboard. Clicking on those links in a sequence will take you to the right YouTube video to which you will automatically have access, assuming it is the same email that you're logging in with. That's it. We don't need to know anything. You don't need to have separate passwords. Your email needs to be right, and we will just give you access to that email, preferably Gmail, because it is on YouTube. So don't give us a Hotmail and all, and then we'll be stuck. So that is a constraint, but we would like to do that for now. Did we miss anything, Ro, on the platform? What did you want to add?
I think that was everything on the platform. The only thing I will say, of course, because it's not a learning platform as such, we won't be able to track progress. And so again, it's down to you to monitor your own progress. You learn by doing, you learn by consistency. So recommendation would be that you do at least 10 minutes every day for the next week on this, just to keep that consistency, and don't set yourself too big a time goal, because you won't do it otherwise. And so what that means is by the end of the course, you will need to email us with your 5 key outcomes or takeaways from each of the 5 modules. So one for each of the 5 modules. What was your key learning, key piece of value, key takeaway from each of those modules? Just email it back to Sarika and I, and then we'll send you your completion certificate.
Yep. And then the final piece. Oh, no, we still have 2 final pieces. So if you are registering today, Ro and I have got special giveaways for people who are in our vicinity. So Ro is from Perth, I'm from Pune. So if you are registering from one of our cities, Ro, what do you have for us?
So I've got the 4th edition of my 50 Top Tools for Coaching book, or the 2nd edition of How to Create a Coaching Culture. So one of those, tell me which one you'd like. For the first 10 registrants, you get one of those books, and they're currently worth around about $60 each. So that's good value.
Yep. And I've got something special also for the first 10 registrants from my city. Yes, I will extend that to Mumbai too, because that's literally so close. Either one copy, either Change Agility by Jason Little or Lean Change Management by Jason Little. I don't have my own book just yet, but hang in there. It'll come really soon, a couple of them coming around. But until then, for the first 10 registrants from my city, of course, if you register from anywhere else, I'm sure we'll come up with lots of goodies, but you have way too many goodies already in the course. We have lots of free downloads also there, and it will only grow. As we come up with more free downloads, we are just going to continuously keep giving stuff out for free and no extra cost there. Yeah. Unless, of course, we want to ship something, then that's different. And again, the value is, I think around $20 or something, 20 Canadian or so. Yeah. For these. So that's a bonus. And that brings us to the final thing. And after saying that, I'm just going to hit click, and then we will put the link of where you can get this from. The pricing for this micro course is...
Drum roll, please.
You want to do the honors, Ro?
Okay, right. I'm going for it then. So if you live in Australia, it is 249 Australian dollars, which is inclusive of GST. If you live in Canada, sorry, not Canada. If you live in the United States, it's about 165 US dollars. I think Canadian is somewhere between the two, Australian and US dollars. If you're in Pune or India, then it's 14,750 rupee. And if you're in Europe, it's about 140 euros. And if you're in the good old United Kingdom, it's around about, at the moment with the exchange rate, around about 125 good old British pounds. So as I say, they're the conversion rates today. The main currency is the Australian dollar. So that's the one that you'll be paying in.
Indeed. So on that note, I'm hitting the publish button. So
Yay!
hang on.
Got to do the reaction, haven't I?
Yes, you could do that. You could do that while I hit this button, and obviously it's going to go slow at just the right minute. It says publishing, just a moment. It's been many moments.
So while you're doing that, I just want to re-emphasize that obviously what we want to create here is a community. This is our first cab off the rank, as we say in Australia. So we've kept it very simple. Obviously, once you register, you will become part of that community. And we will send you links to other stuff that we've done as well. So you've got all of those resources. And we'll probably be running, I would imagine, some more Q&As. So if you do have questions for the community, not for everybody else, but we'll probably be running Q&As for the community, including those folks who signed up for the live version as well, by the way, so you don't miss out on this. So if you do have Q&A questions that you want to ask us, then we'll be letting you know that in the new year. In the meantime, there's loads of goodies in the Miro board, including all the videos. We've recorded individual videos for each of the modules. You've got a journal that is your journal. You keep it, you download it. We've got some really nice activities in there. We've got a fantastic paper by the awesome Dr. Sebastian Fox on critical reflexivity, which if you want to develop your coaching and facilitation skills, I highly recommend that article. We've got two ebooks, one that I've created on top tools for facilitation, which was from a live workshop series that I did with people wanting to learn facilitation skills. So these are the questions that they were asking during that workshop. And Sarika's got one as well on what basically, I think it's what to do when you get stuck with facilitation, or yeah. So you've got so many resources in this. I know we say it's probably 90 minutes to 2 hours. That's to get through the videos, really. You can obviously spend a lot longer going through the journal and doing your own learning. And we heartily recommend that you come back to it time and again so that you don't lose the learning. And stay curious, because you'll always learn stuff from everything that you facilitate. I certainly do. So you now mute, Sarika.
Yeah, look at that. So as you say, curiosity is the new leadership strength. So you want to be curious and not furious, even if you're stuck. Trust us, we've been in too many tech issues even today, and we just have to keep our calm. So I am going to share my extremely chaotic screen because it has just gone live.
Yay! Woo!
So here's the link, just for you all to see. If you just go to sarikakharbanda.com, it's on the website. I'm just going to take you all there just to give you a show. So if you just click this one on the top, it will literally take you to the page where you click register now. There are much more details about the course itself. Alternatively, what you could do is also go through the navigation, click on e-learning, just in case you missed the top nav bar, and that's okay. That's the only e-course we've launched right now. So learn more about it. We've got everything. And of course, we will place a link to today's conversation also here. You click on register now, it is going to take you directly to your payment screen because you are ready to register. Any questions, of course, just reach out. And that's pretty much it. So
fantastic. We made it.
We've nailed it today. Awesome. Ooh. This is so good. So good. Okay, so I'm really tired.
Likewise.
But full of life even now. So thank you everybody for joining us on our really tiny celebration. And we hope to see you on our journey soon. We did take longer to wrap this up, but you know how it goes when we are so excited about something special. So why not?
Well, hopefully they've taken away a couple of things, or even just one thing from our conversation today. That would be great if they have, and if you can comment, obviously, please drop a comment in the chat box below. And we'll no doubt be pinning a comment on here as well with the links and all the goodies in. Yeah, perfect.
Yes, and just in case you had a comment and you couldn't do that because there seems to be some issue here, feel free to reach us on LinkedIn, Sarika Kharbanda, Change Catalyst, Rogarel.
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 There is only one Rogarel. I'd be surprised if there's anybody else called Rogarel on LinkedIn.
All righty. So thank you again, people. Remember the first 10 registrants, lots of goodies too, in addition to the course itself. So see you on the journey, and let's keep facilitating and keep rocking. Be curious, don't be furious.
Exactly. Fantastic. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.